Vitals. Market vitals, the levels you need to triage. Triage, Matt. You know what triage is, Matt? Yeah, you're familiar. You saw MASH, right?
Yep.
Triage, like triage. What is more important? And when triage gets bad, it's like who dies, who lives. Very triageable, the market.
Very true.
Matt, let's talk a few things here. Why don't we talk? First of all, I love that you shared this. And as somebody that's been to a lot of Northwestern games, starting when they were defeated for several years in a row, my brother was selling programs, and I went along as like a 5 or 6 year old. Northwestern students celebrating the huge opening weekend football with everybody in the library, nose in a book. One of the great things, though, Matt, and I'm sure you appreciate this, was Northwestern becoming relevant again in the 90s. It was so fun to go after so many years of just being schmees. Just everybody's automatic win was Northwestern.
Right.
And one of the funniest things, I actually didn't witness it, but my brother was amongst a bunch of Ohio State fans. Ohio State at Northwestern in '95. They hadn't beaten Ohio State in a couple decades. And just taunting the Ohio State fans, like, you're losing to Northwestern. Do you understand this? You're losing to Northwestern.
There was a number of last minute losses we had to them. Those, Pat Fitzgerald is a great coach and he's a great recruiter. And again, with the 90s advent of smaller rosters, made Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's in contention this year. They say that they got a shot at whatever the SEC West. So, it's parity. Parity is good. And parity, Wisconsin used to be the automatic W along with, Northwestern, right?
Right.
People forget that. Like they were horrible. The Ducks sucked, right? And now they're good. So all these things change. And
when
parity.
When you can't stack talent, give out 100 D1 scholarships. So somebody.
Yeah, I mean, Michigan used to have Michigan, Notre Dame, Ohio State, Alabama, Penn State. They used to say, like, they had the top 5 teams on their team.
Right. Exactly.
That's how it used to be.
I never understood why kids would go ride the pine when they could start someplace else. And there were so many of them that just went.
Yeah. I don't know, because they wanted to play at those 5 schools, because those 5 schools, were the majority of, that's where they recruit from for the NFL too. So, I mean, you get it. That's true. You get why they do it.
Yeah. Hey, let me share for a second, because we have to talk about the irony of the world that we live in, which we talk about all the time.
Yep.
But this one particularly got me. There we go. Sharing it. And this was the Mail Online. And Rory ripping, the Live Golf has ripped the game apart. A little bit hypersensitive, would you not say?
Yeah.
Rory McIlroy blasting. He hates it, as he admits it'll be hard to stomach seeing 18 Saudi rebels, because we have to put President Biden in as a Saudi rebel, correct?
Right.
As he just went to Saudi Arabia to get more petroleum products pushed this way. Yeah. Apparently, the PGA sticking to this narrative that these guys are all bad guys because they signed someplace else for more money, and then lo and behold, 2 months later, they all say, "Hey, we have a lot more money to give out, so we're going to start increasing our purses." The hypocrisy of it all it's mind-numbing.
Right.
And so he's got to play against. They're better. Like the Live, if they were smart, they would have all of their players secretly mic'd up and save those recordings and just bust balls relentlessly.
Yeah.
Right. Just bust balls just relentlessly with these people. Because, can you imagine then the next Live Golf tournament where they bring out the snippets of these guys? We call it C-bid, man. We won't say that here. but for sure bid
Yeah.
on being complete hypocrites. It's unreal. It just blows me away.
Yeah, it's almost like he maybe he was offered 100 million and he passed, and now he's bitter about it. I don't know. It's just like it's weird. It's weird.
All right, man. We got to talk markets as it's a Monday, the end of the month coming up here. And Ian McMillan, CMT. What does that stand for? Do you know?
Chart. It's like a market technician.
Chartered monetary theorist. I don't know.
Something. Chartered monetary theorist.
Colgate mint toothpaste. I think
it's a market technician, and there's a designation you can go and get, to become a technical trader. You can get a chartered technical, market trader or something. So yeah.
Right on. Anyway, he says utilities going out at new relative highs to end the week. Over the last few years, this has typically been a rough sign for equities as a whole. They took them lower on the opening, Matt, and they've been clawing back. But for sure, these charts do not look anything like they did.
Well, they took them lower Sunday. They, like the NASDAQ.
Right, exactly.
The SPOOs traded down to basically 4,000. They got right down there to 4,006 or something, and then they rallied. They've been rallying since since the European Open. So, it's again, Kramer got bearish this morning, so we're probably going to rally the rest of the week. Just saying.
Thank you, Mark. Mark said it's a chartered market technician. I'm sure me and you could pass that test.
Didn't I just say that, Bob? I just say that? Thank you.
I think you might have. You probably read Mark's reply before.
No, I did not see it, but I saw it after he said it. Thank you, Mark.
Slow down. I mean, why don't you bring it up, because and bring out a longer fractal, and then I will too, because the month end.
You want to talk about crude?
Yeah, let's talk crude first.
Yeah, we've been talking about this 85 to 95 level, and we're kind of breaking out here a little bit at 96.20 trading, and to me it looks like we're going to go back and trade to 100 at least, right? That's the next bracket. So we were in this 85-95 bracket. Now the next 100-105 is, as I said, if we close over this 95, you'll probably get another $10 higher. So that would be 105, 106.
Interesting, because and that's the high of that profile,
and that's right here. So this is 105 right here, and 105.27. So yeah, we're in this range. I think we're setting up. The fall is not going to be pretty for, as we've discussed continuously here, for energy, utilities, et cetera, through the roof. Europe and even in the US. I mean, even the Post was writing an article last week that we talked about 20 million people can't pay their utility bills. Well, that's a significant number if you figure there's 100 million households or so, right, in this country. So that's 20% of your population, basically, is the way I read that. And that doesn't, again, you and I are saying 150 to 240 oil. So, and again, kind of in that time frame that we talked about. Excuse me.
There is it. Bless you.
Wow.
Of course I'll bless you.
So anyways, I think oil has been basing here really the whole month of August. I mean, 85 continued to hold there as they pressed down on it. And Biden, speaking of, Saudi and Biden, I mean, he was the one that's saying, oh, gas has been down every day this summer. I'm like, okay, dude, well, it's right back to where it was in the spring though. So I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's still bad. It's still double from where it was when, triple now, where, from the prices when Trump was in. So nobody's benefiting, and energy costs are continuing to go higher. And again, I still, I think I can see us, again, it's going to be a heavy lifting to get up to that 110, 115 area. But once it gets there, it'll probably take off again. And I can't tell you what those things are going to be, but fundamentals, but it does look to me like it's going to happen and play out.
I mean, that is a deep, thick bracket that you just showed there.
Yeah.
A lot of price discovery. Let me share the monthly that I have on crude continuation.
Yep.
A monthly, and now they really did have the chance here from a standard deviation modeling to change the dynamic of this market if they could have closed the month below 89.93. Now we still have 2 days left, so anything's possible. But closing it below, it's a completely different setup. Let me say that. It's a completely different setup if you close below that monthly average versus you go check it out, right? And the market rejects it, rallies back higher. And if they can recapture 105, the high of your profile, that also happens to be the momentum level on the monthly. So you got the synergy on that big, thick, meaty bracket, and also the top of that meaty bracket being the momentum level. So momentum players are really going to want to see that 105 level be recaptured. And then if it does, right now, as things are, that double top at 135, I think it'd be physical because that upper band is rolling over. But where are we? 89 to 135 ish. Hello, that is a lot of meat to be made in the marketplace.
Absolutely. Yeah, the market today just does not feel inspired at all on the equity side. So even though we're off the lows, it's been pretty heavy lifting here this morning just to get kind of back to where we closed on Friday, right? And Friday, you're like, wow, that closed it, but it didn't feel like it was done going down, right? And then obviously the Sunday it did continue going down. So it's trying to put in some type of temporary bottom, but again, I think it's going to have a hard time. Let's say it rallies, the SPOOs rally back to like 4150 area, which is possible. If we get a counter trend, I would sell the turd out of it again. So,
let me share two more charts. And again, I don't have a ton of time today, but let me share these two because again, from a standard deviation modeling, again, we're rolling the month on Wednesday, right? Thursday is the new month.
Thursday is the first, yes.
And so this is the SPOO. Same thing. We talked about this when we took out the monthly momentum level. This 4330 would be a target to go to. It pinged it, man. Dead nut ping on the monthly average. And again, this thing closing back in lower momentum on the monthly. I don't care what chart this is. That is not a healthy looking chart.
No,
I don't care. Let me say it again. I don't care what chart it is. If this is soybeans, if this is eggshells, if this is lumber, whatever, it doesn't matter. This chart setup is not a strong looking chart setup. And the other one, although it's off today a little bit, the dollar, man, we talked the dollar forever, and this looks like it wants to explode. And we've talked to a lot of people that we follow. Tons of people are talking market cycles here in September. I don't know what the news cycle is going to be, but this thing looks explosive to me. I guarantee you next month when this rolls, this potential on the upper band is going to be up somewhere around 118 to 120. And I mean, you short the dollar. We've been saying you short the dollar at your own peril for 2 years now.
Yeah.
For a year at least. And I'm telling you right now, you short the dollar now, it's even more precarious.
Yeah.
As it looks like now is not the time. I mean, you need exhaustion and you need something else to happen there. And that monthly chart is not exhausted yet by any stretch of the imagination.
Right. Absolutely.
All right, Matt, what else do we got? We had a mass shooting in Bend and
two people when the shooter himself
was well, here's the thing. The guy had an automatic rifle. So something happened there that not more people were.
I haven't seen everything. They said the police didn't shoot him, but he's dead. So either he shot himself or a concealed carrier shot him because he killed 2 people in the store apparently. And again, that's the story. And he had professed or posted somewhere on social media or something that he was going to kill kids in school. So again, this world is full of some really sad mental illness. And again, to me, this all comes down to mental illness. And guns are just whatever. It's not a gun story again. So don't start with all that with me. It's just more. It's a crazy story. There's crazy people out there, and it's sad. And nobody likes to see anybody lives get wasted. So it's a sad day for sure.
It is. All right. Please visit us at anything else. Yeah, please take it away.
Well, I did not see I didn't see any of the Lions game yesterday. Did you catch any of it? They played the Steelers.
I did not, but there's a lot of chatter of how well our friend and Ohio State quarterback Justin Fields looked for the Bears.
No, who did they play? I didn't see any of that either.
I didn't see any of it. I just heard the chatter that the 5-year quarterback coach from the Green Bay Packers apparently doing his coaching thing, and it seems to be working out for Justin Fields.
Well, good. They got they have a new coordinator. That's You got to play to the guy's skills.
Now, wouldn't it be interesting if it's Bears Lions 1-2 in the NFL in the Norris division of the NFL?
I think that's tough still with Aaron Rodgers and even.
I'm telling you, right? What are the odds of that?
Kirk
Can we
Cousins.
get odds on that? Bears Lions 1-2, either or.
It's interesting. It's interesting that in the division we have Goff, who's a Cal grad. We have Rodgers, who's a Cal grad, right? And then we have Ohio State, and then we have Michigan State. Those are our quarterbacks for those 4 teams. So we got the Buckeye on your team, and we got the Sparty on the Vikings, and then we got the 2 Cal kids. So I just thought of that for the first time. It's kind of interesting that even Cal has 2 good quarterbacks, but geez, they do, because they're have not been traditionally very strong in the Pac-12.
No, exactly.
But coming back to that game, like Scott Frost, I mean, they were talking about, I was watching, game day, which was kind of weird because they did it all Zoom called again. I'm like, wow, Disney's really dropping the ball here. They lost all the Big Ten and everything in the next few years. Their opening show was really a shit show. Like, I mean, it was lower.
And this was the show for what? For which
College Game Day? ESPN.
Oh, right.
Lee Corso and Desmond Howard. They were all at home in their,
what?
In their pajamas for opening day, and I was just like, this is lame. Lee Corso was in his backyard with a bunch of the what do you call them, the mascots, and I'm like, why are we doing this? This is like so strange. I mean, Nebraska was up 11, Bob, in the third quarter, and they decided they scored, and they went for an onside kick.
You get out of here.
Yeah, they were up 11. They kick an onside.
And weren't they favored by 11 too?
Yeah, they were favored almost 2 touchdowns, and then so then they,
If you're a betting Nebraska fan,
oh my God.
Oh, that's brutal.
I mean, there was a quarter and a half left, and I didn't see it. I went for a long hike with the dog, but I left after the halftime because it was such a boring game, And then you're fighting Illini looked pretty good against the Wyoming Cowboys, whatever that means. So,
whatever
at least,
that means.
At least they were happy in Champaign. They were happy in Champaign.
Champagne was flowing in Champagne.
I'm excited though this week, the real kickoffs this week, the big games. Of course, your alma mater is playing at Michigan State on Friday.
I wish I would. I mean, I was just there. Had it been a week later, I could have gone up to Spartyville.
I don't know if you're going to go up to Sparty and see that.
I'm back. I'm in Illinois. No longer do I need to wear the Lions hat, as I'm no longer in Rome. But I got to tell you,
but Saturday we have local game of national consequences. Oregon at Georgia. They're playing at the Atlanta Mercedes-Benz. It's not a home game technically, but it will be for Georgia. And then we have, of course, Ohio State and Notre Dame also on Saturday, which will be fun. I think Ohio State will whoop them. And Utah and Florida. So, 3 pretty good openers on Saturday. And then you got Clemson, Georgia Tech. Why not? The Rambling Wreck and Clemson on Monday. So, we're full on. College football is here, Bobby. College football is back. And of course, my alma mater will be playing the Rams. If you can tell me.
I mean, I still have, I'm livid with the matchmaking, Give them a Colorado State. They're all high in that locker room. I just don't get it. I don't get it. All right, that's what we got. I got to run. I'm on the farm. There's always work to be done on the farm. Please visit us at marketvitals.io. Please share, retweet, plagiarize far and wide. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Lee. Thank you, Matt. Visit us. Come see us. And hey, by the way, Manja Shrimp Mojo. Again, I keep seeing people struggling with their spice or rub. I mean, there's no need to struggle, people. There's no need to struggle. The Shrimp Mojo kills it on just about anything. Anything. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Bobby. Have a good afternoon.
See ya.